All right, got another quick video on a tip I've picked up on how to get brake lines to seal up. The first time after you make a new flare, I plumbed an entire car one time, and when I got done, it seemed like every single fitting leaked, and I fought that thing for a day getting them all sealed up, and ultimately I figured out a new way of going about it, and just going to pass that along right quick. One other thing I was just wanting to show is this Eastwood flaring tool, which is just like the best thing since sliced bread, and makes like a literal 10-second flare. So I'm just going to show the process of it real quick. First thing you do is you put your tube in your die and snug your die up just a little bit. You put it on this blank, and that will square the tube and the dies. You can go ahead and tighten down. Then you go to operation 1. Pull your arm, not crazy tight. Go to operation 2. Again, not crazy tight, and your flare is done. Wipe the paint off of it, and you'll see it is as good as anything you're going to get from a parts store. That quick and easy. All right, on to the tip part of this. Let me get this out of here. All right, what I do is take if you just get a Union or a T, this is a T that I had laying around, and put that in a vise, and bear with me a second. All right, you clamp that in a vise, and you take your nut and your tube, and like I say again, if you look at your flare, it's a good looking flare. If I can just get the thing focused. Nothing wrong with that, but more than likely it won't seal. So you screw that in there, you snug that up. Okay, that's fairly snug at like 6 o'clock. So take that loose and snug it. Where was I at? Right about here. 3 or 4 times. That's probably enough. And that will go ahead and finish forming that flare. You can see where it kind of shined it up on the inside edge. And that'll finish forming that. It's kind of like a third step I do. And you can put this in the car if you don't do that, you can put that in there and you can tighten that thing down until you are going to literally round the nut off and it won't seal. And this can be done in the car too. But if you do it in stages, you go and then all of a sudden it'll get to where it don't want to go anymore, and then you'll know you're pretty well there. But if you do that in stages, instead of trying to do it all the first time, that will go ahead and finish that flare out. And you can see where it's knocked some more paint off of it. But I can about guarantee you now, you put that on there, snug it up, good and snug, not even crazy tight, and it'll probably seal. So I just wanted to pass that on. It's something that took me a long time to figure out. But I've plumbed 3 or 4 cars now, and that's been night and day ever since I moved forward from doing that. And of course, if you're doing a flare on a car, you can't take it out and put it on the bench and do this. But if you have a little setup sitting there, right there handy, you can do your flare, do that 3 or 4 times, and stick it on the car. And like I said, it's probably going to seal, whereas it probably won't seal the first time if you don't do that. So anyways, just wanted to pass that on.